Hello and welcome. Thank you for tuning in once again. Back in the old house. I bet this is starting to look rather familiar. Well, welcome to my home. You're most welcome. You know how to get downstairs to the beds if you ever get tired. But if you don't want to go there, how about we pop through one of these teleporters and have a look at another one of my builds. The primary reason why I'm showing my way through this is someone once asked me, "Oh, sounds interesting what you're doing. Why don't you do a couple of screenshots?" Yeah, that doesn't do the place justice at all, does it? This is the only way to see Creativerse. So come with me and let's go on a little trip to the stone tower. Swing! Oh, and a big clunk as well. Wasn't me. I didn't touch it. I'm not there. I didn't break anything, I swear. It was always the thing when we used to go into the shops. If there was a crash, my mum would grab both us kids as if to say, "Wasn't them." So, what are you trying to say here? Okay, so here we are. Stone tower. Another blueprint build. And it's a nice start, I would say, for a castle. Oh, yeah. Come on, I want to get off the ladder, thank you. It shows you some interesting ways of using slabs to make crenellations, for example, and ways that you can construct a castle. It wouldn't be my choice to actually say, okay, I'm going to move in here. I find the fact that they've got, for a starter, as you can see, asymmetric towers. I'll admit it, that doesn't work well for me. But I think that's probably me more than anything else. The lack of symmetry in something that is square, it bothers me. Probably with other people they go, no, but you've kind of got a linear sort of symmetry here crossing through the tower. No, that's two-dimensional. It's wrong. It's not wrong. To me, to my mind, I'm kind of whatevs. But that's just me. So we can walk along here, set a guard. I think it was Avaloridi actually who had the a trog doing sort of guard duty, and I thought it'd be quite nice to have one trogging up and down here. Who knows? An idea, perhaps? We'll go up one of these towers. Going up one means we don't have to go up both. Please fix the ladders. Or at least tell me what I'm doing wrong with them, why I can't... Because they used to shoot you up the top, and that was used to great effect by a lot of people to actually create things like roller coasters and that, which I thought was great fun. And Playful Court themselves said, what a great idea, and we won't change that. And then they changed it. So I'm not sure what's quite going on there. So anyway, this is where I chose to build my stone tower. I wanted it... I do try and find different biome setups for all of my builds, simply because I feel if you're going to travel there, it's nice to find something different. If you build everything in grassland or whatever else, it'd be dull, wouldn't it? And you can hop skippity jumpy around here. La di da di da di da. There's steps and all sorts of things. And again, this tower. What we're going to do, we're just going to walk over the stairway, not bother going down it at all. We'll go down and we'll explore this central tower, which it's almost like, trying to think of the right way of describing it, it's almost like a demo model of different ways of building a tower, because there seem to be quite a lot of ways in and out, and if I'm building a fortified tower, I would think I want to limit the amount of ways you can get in and out, because then that would limit how many people can come in and attack me at a time. But maybe that's just me. Overly cautious. But yes, there's this sort of inner entrance that you can see here, and there's this outer stairway up here, and I think you saw the steps. I'll run around and show you again. The steps up here. So that's 3 ways of getting up this tower. So let's do the inside. Let's go jiggly jiggly jiggly, and we come up to here, which is the platform where you get the steps, or the ladders, and the stairs. Let me make sure that I use the right words. Possibly this is if you're under attack and everyone's storming in there. This is where all the servants and everyone else runs screaming ah out there, you know, fleeing for their lives, while you're all here fight. Yeah, you can tell I do a lot of fighting, right? And then it gets a little bit harder to get into the tower, so maybe that is just so the servants can flee and you can sneak people out. And I'm gonna die, but I'm gonna try and go across here. It wasn't so bad. Again, you see there's strange little nooks and crannies. It makes it fun to explore. You can go up and down, and there we are, we're back on the other side. Yeah. Okay. I think actually when I was demonstrating this before to someone, I was like, oh, you can go, and I just suicide leapt out the window. That's why I'm a bit cautious now. Showing it's like, kind of, I'm going to go, oh, let's demonstrate this, and yet, no. It just seems, oops, kind of awkward getting in and out. Let's, we can wander around here, and then, yeah. Built it to blueprint. Little odd, don't you think? Oh, now I'm stuck. Criminy. Oh, you can tell who I've been watching. Oh, yeah. You see, there's plenty of opportunities to fall to your death on this tower. We won't go around there, but we'll come up here to pinnacle, and because there's peak stone up here, can you hear what's spawned up there? Yeah, Rambos. So you come up to the top of your tower and you can have meh, meh to keep you company. I think it's quite a pleasing sound. It doesn't make me sound very, very rural. Yeah, very rural, my dear. So, that in essence is the ever so humble, ever so sweet stone tower. This, I'm guessing it was meant to be a sort of portcullis, but they didn't provide a means of egress. In other words, if you're in your stone tower, you're in your stone tower, Paliwell. I'm the one that put in a door, because I kind of thought, well, if I'm going to be ostensibly living here, and forgive the very gentle chime there, that's usually my reminder to meditate. I'm going to play Creativerse instead. Forget meditating. But I wanted to step back here to sort of give you the overall impression of the tower. And I think this illustrates quite what I was trying to say earlier about the asymmetry of it. It looks very impressive, very grand, but it looks unfinished in my eyes. I keep wanting to put another tower on the other side, and I can't. No, it's got to be there. It just feels like, you know, I've started building the town, thought, bored now. Give up halfway, you know, who cares? We don't really need it. So yes, that's probably the only, well, apart from the, you know, odd little suicidal leaps as you go up the tower, that's my biggest gripe, I would say, about this blueprint. It was fun to build, and the nice thing about it is, apart from this iron portcullis, it's made out of relatively cheap materials, so it's a good one again if you're just starting out and want to do a blueprint build. This is a good one to start with as well, in that it's not going to be too difficult for you to get the materials you need to complete it relatively quickly. So we will now zip back. It makes such a nice noise, the teleporter, those you must excuse when I do all the sound effects and that sort of thing. It is something I get picked on about. It's like, oh, do you do that with that exact sound effect? And I own them now. It's like, yes, it does. Right, from a stone tower to a wooden fort. Off we go. Let's not dilly-dally or shilly-shally. This music is quite mesmeric. I like it. Okay, so we start off in the interior of the wooden fort, and I like how they've used the wood floor with just plain cragwood. It gives a really nice texture, and I kind of thought I don't know, it's almost like you've slapped on some wallpaper or something. It's really good. This is quite a nice large space, and this is actually one of the blueprint builds that I did in cooperation with another player, and this was really interesting, because I would do a bit and then I'd go away and I'd come back and, oh, another bit's done, and it was quite interesting to see it kind of grow without actually putting in the effort. So basically all of this interior I didn't build. It was Dagron that did this, and for me it was just fascinating to come in and to see what he'd done. I popped down the stairs again because I remember there's this little I'm going to call it a coat closet, coat cupboard. It just feels like the sort of place that you'll come in, you'll you know, hang up your hats and coats, put your boots down, and off you go. I don't really understand if it has any other purpose other than being a really tall space. This is first layer. Oh, I'm jiggling it a bit, and I'll try not to make anybody too dizzy here. And we'll just have a quick wander around and show you, and you can see it does go up quite a bit higher. There's lots of interesting little walkways. Generally when I say there's interesting little walkways, I always sort of think, yeah, interesting little walkways that I've had plenty of opportunity to fall to my death from, which happens when you build. And I for a long time didn't know the little trick that if you press C to crouch, that you don't fall off an edge. You can see I'm trying to walk off the edge here and I'm not doing it, and this is a good opportunity then to be able to place blocks ostensibly beneath you. So I was trying to do it by how far can I push my luck? Can I push it one more time? Fall to my death. So I learned the hard way, which is pretty much how I do anything. This gives us a good view. That's that little central area that we were in, and we sort of came up there. And this one is symmetrical. It has 4 points, 4 towers on each point, and yes, it can have points of interest that are different, but I feel this one aesthetically appeals to me more. So let's bounce up here and continue going up this middle bit. I do feel this stairway is a little bit too open. I'm going up here quite gingerly because it wouldn't be the first time for me to get halfway up and have to start again because I've fallen. And the higher you get, the less you really want to fall because, you know, falling hurts. It's true in Creativerse as it is in real life. Falling hurts. So this, I think my main criticism with this is that in Creativerse your character is 2 blocks tall. So in order to be able to see anything, it can only be 1 block tall. So by having this being 2 blocks tall, yes, you can jump on it and have a look out, but you kind of can't see around you. It would be better to, like they've got there, to have some sort of fencing perhaps. Just something that gives you the feeling that you can actually look out rather than it feels kind of hemmed in to me. This is sort of better because yes, you're still protected, but you can see through it. So this works better for me than having that as a solid area. It's just a question of personal preference as far as I'm concerned. I suppose you could put in glass blocks here. I mean, being a blueprint build, you can substitute, you can modify. I'm just showing you the pure unadulterated. Yeah, I've had my ears, eyes and nose fixed and now my mouth won't work. Pure unadulterated blueprint. So we'll, seeing as these are symmetrical, showing you one of these will be tantamount to showing you them all. Again, that little hemmed in feeling. And another thing with this is the lighting is something that I added. It didn't, the blueprint did not come with lighting. There was no lighting with the blueprint. So I found that because you start creating dark spaces, as I was getting creatures coming after me right, left and center. So I thought, no, I want a little safe haven. We have this sort of secondary walkway, which this is an idea that I kind of like, that you've got various levels. It's appealing to me. It kind of gives you more depth to the build. Come on, down the stairs, down. No, we'll look out the window. Let's have a look out the window. Da, 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 da. This is another thing I added, is a door. Again, because I was getting beaten up. And I didn't want to get beaten up. I don't like getting beaten up and attacked when I'm building. You know, you got your mind on your build and getting home for your fish and chip dinner. You know, you don't want these creatures coming after you and being all mean and you know, whatever. All doors in here are additions. And I kind of think, is this my little sneaky exit here? La 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 la. The moat was my idea and my first attempt at taming water. I've since watched lots of very good tutorials on fluid mechanics, but I didn't know them then. And my solution to this was basically to create solid areas, put some water in, make sure it was fine, and then take away the solid area, rinse and repeat. It turns out I wasn't too far from how it all works. But yeah. Now it is starting to get dark, and this is where I have a slight problem with something called a wooden fort. I would think that a fort would be a little less open than this. I'm presuming that these are meant to represent sort of really grand doors that slam closed or something. But in reality, anything can come in here, and with the distinct lack of lighting, lots of night creatures spawn in here, and so the only thing that you can do is run screaming through the walls and into the main part. and hope like hell you can close the door quicker than they can chase you. Oh, hello. Let's not let the boss hog. Only thing missing on boss hog is a medallion. Then he'd be perfect. Just throwing that out there. And as I normally do, I'm just trying to avoid fighting, because I think I did enough fighting in my last video. Just to show you the distance view. And because of the symmetry, I actually think that this has better eye appeal than the stone tower. The stone tower is taller, so more impressive centrally, but overall I do think this has a better look to it. And people can say they can disagree with me or not. That's fine. This is something, it's about opinion, isn't it? It's something that's personal to all of us. Some of us like symmetry, some of us prefer asymmetry. This is fine. We need to be different to be interesting. Yeah, not much more I can say on that, really. I was thinking, yeah, there's a profound thought coming up here, very profound thought, and brain just went, what? A profound what? Ah, I forgot. Water's no good. Run, 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 run. Be faster than the pigsy. Oh, pigsy gave up. Right. So we'll end here. We've covered 2. Yep, 2. So I don't think that's too bad. Don't know why I feel the need to wait until I'm back in my house to say goodbye. Because I don't. But it's almost like, well, I'm home, it's night time, I can tuck you kitty winkies in now. You've had your milk and cookies. Yes, strange insights into an insane mind. Thank you for tuning in again. Do what you gotta do. Like, dislike if you have to. Comment, share, subscribe. This is Tashlan signing out. Love you loads. Peace out.